There was a time not too long ago when American roads thundered with the raw power of Detroit steel. Gas was cheap, horsepower was king, and General Motors ruled the muscle car world. For those who lived through the 60s and early 70s, these cars weren't just machines, they were freedom on four wheels. Let's take a nostalgic journey through the 10 fastest classic GM muscle cars ever built. A celebration of power, speed, and unfiltered Americana. 1969 Chevrolet Nova SS. Top speed, 127 miles per hour. The Nova began life as the humble Chevy 2 in 1962, a bare-bones compact designed for affordable family transportation. But by 1968, GM gave it a full redesign and dropped the Chevy 2 name. The 1969 Nova SS came equipped with the potent L78 396 cubic inch V8, pumping out 375 horsepower. Small, light, and unassuming, the Nova SS was a true sleeper. With minimal weight and a big block heart, it could blow the doors off many heavier competitors. A muscle car in disguise, it proved that you didn't need flashy stripes or scoops to be a street terror. 1970 Pontiac Grand Prix, SJ 455, 128 miles per hour. Pontiac's Grand Prix SJ was a unique blend of performance and personal luxury, a grand tourer with muscle in its veins. The SJ trim added refinement, but don't let the luxury touches fool you. With 370 horsepower and a heavy right foot, this Pontiac could stretch its legs like few others in its class. It was Pontiac's answer to the Dodge Charger, though with more class and nearly as much sass. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 130 miles per hour. Few names in muscle car lore carry the reverence of the Chevelle SS 454. When GM lifted its ban on engines over 400 cubic inches in mid-size cars in 1970, Chevrolet didn't hesitate. They dropped in a 454 cubic inch V8 and created an icon. It could run the quarter mile in under 13 seconds, and its top speed pushed the edge of reason for the era. It was loud, brash, and beautiful. A muscle car in its purest form. 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge Ram Air 4 130 mile Paris. The GTO kicked off the muscle car era in 1964, and by 1969 Pontiac was refining it into something extraordinary. The Judge was a stripped-down performance version named after a comedy sketch on Laugh-In of all things. But its performance was no joke. Equipped with the Ram Air 4 400 cubic inch engine, it was officially rated at 370 horsepower, but unofficially, everyone knew it was underrated. With high-flow heads, aluminum intake, and free-breathing exhaust, the Judge lived up to its name, laying down judgment on lesser cars. 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30 135 mile power. Oldsmobile may not be the first name that comes to mind when you think of muscle cars, but the 442 W30 will make you think twice. Originally just an option package for the Cutlass, the 442 became its own model in 1968. By 1970, the W30 package included a 455 cubic inch engine with a functional Ram Air setup, aggressive camshaft, and improved exhaust. It was a factory drag racer that could tear through a quarter mile in the low 13s. Muscle car magazines praised it for being both brutally fast and surprisingly refined. When the second-generation Camaro debuted in 1970, it brought European-inspired styling and improved handling, but it didn't forget its muscle roots. The Z28 trim came with the LT1 350 cubic inch small block, shared with the Corvette. Despite its relatively modest displacement, it made 360 horsepower and revved like no other. Lightweight, balanced, and quick, the Z28 could keep up with bigger engine rivals. Car and Driver once declared it an automobile of uncommon merit, high praise for a muscle car. 1970 Buick GS 455 Stage 1 135 millipairs. Buick was known for quiet luxury, not drag racing, but in 1970 the GS 455 Stage 1 flipped that script. Stuffed with a torque monster 455 cubic inch engine rated at 360 horsepower, this Skylark-based rocket was capable of quarter-mile runs in the low 13s. With Stage 1 performance tuning and surprisingly good street manners, it was the gentleman's muscle car. Many who owned one swore it was one of the fastest cars on the street, just in disguise. 1967 Chevrolet Camaro SS 396 140 mile power. Chevy's answer to the Mustang arrived in 1967, and it meant business. The Camaro SS could be ordered with the L78 396 cubic inch engine, officially rated at 375 horsepower, though as with many GM engines of the time, this was likely conservative. Company policy prohibited any car from outperforming the Corvette, so horsepower figures were often understated. Regardless, this first-year SS 396 could hit 140-mile-per-hour and sprint the quarter mile in under 14 seconds. It didn't just compete with the Mustang, it often embarrassed it. 1973 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am 455 Super Duty 155-mile-per-hour. By 1973, muscle cars were being choked by insurance premiums and emissions rules. But Pontiac wasn't done fighting. The 455 Super Duty engine was a final act of rebellion. With forged internals and performance heads, it was essentially a factory race engine. Only 252 were built with this engine in 1973, making it one of the rarest and most potent muscle cars of the era. Car and Driver called it the last of the fast cars, and with a top speed of 155 mile-per-hour, it more than earned that title. 1963 Pontiac Tempest Super Duty 163 mile-per-hour. The Pontiac Tempest may seem like an odd inclusion here, but the 1963 Super Duty edition was a purpose-built factory drag car. Only 14 were made, with a 421 cubic inch V8, aluminum body panels, and unique transaxle layout. It was never meant for the street. It was Pontiac's secret weapon in NHRA competition. These cars were so rare that many collectors didn't even know they existed until years later. The Pontiac Tempest may seem like an odd inclusion here, but the 1963 Super Duty edition was a purpose-built factory drag car. Only 14 were made, with a 421 cubic inch V8, aluminum body panels, and unique transaxle layout. It was never meant for the street. It was Pontiac's secret weapon in NHRA competition. These cars were so rare that many collectors didn't even know they existed until years later. While modern cars may be quicker on paper, they'll never replace the soul, the attitude, and the sheer thrill of these classic GM muscle machines. The golden era of muscle cars may be gone, but its spirit lives on, in memories, in garages, and in the hearts of those who remember what real American muscle used to sound like.